We are talking about a truck that had to travel 8,500 kilometers. But the problem was not just how to make the truck travel so long. In fact, the real problem was that a very large block of ice was kept in this truck which had to pass through the desert of Africa, which was raining fire. That is, in the desert where not only the ice but also the iron becomes soft, this truck had to spend 10 days in that desert. But the challenge was that the ice could not melt in any condition, and that too without a refrigerator. Viewer, this is the case of 1959, when the attention of the whole world was surrounded by an ice block. This ice block weighed 3,050 kilograms and it had to be moved from one corner of the world to the other corner, and that too without refrigeration. That is, its starting point was the city of Norway, Mo i Rana, and its ending point was Libreville, which is a city in Central Africa. But why was this being done? Why was this ice block being taken so far? Actually, this matter started a year ago, that is, in 1958. Luxembourg is a country in Europe from where a very famous radio station was run. This broadcast was famous all over the world under the name Radio Luxembourg. This radio station set a unique challenge for all listeners. And that challenge was that if any person would take a 3-ton ice block from the Arctic region to Africa, then he would be given a very heavy reward. It was decided by Radio Luxembourg that 100,000 francs would be given in exchange for every kilogram of ice, which is now $16,000. $16,000 per kilogram, that is, $48 million for a 3-ton ice block, which is really a lot of money. But there were some rules to this challenge. The first rule was that this ice block had to be taken in one piece. The second rule was that it would be transported only by road. The third and most difficult rule was that a refrigerator could not be used to complete the challenge. Radio Luxembourg had set such a heavy reward because they knew very well that it was not possible to bring such a big ice block from the Arctic region to Africa. Because this is not a small journey, but this journey is 8,500 kilometers long, which is 2,500 kilometers from the desert of Africa, where the temperature is 50 degrees centigrade. That is, how will the ice that melts in minutes as soon as it comes out of the freezer reach the right destination in this week-long journey? Radio Luxembourg gave this challenge, but they had no idea how difficult it would be for them. No one dared to move forward for many months after this challenge was broadcast on the radio. But then a man named Birger Natwick announced that he was ready to accept this challenge. Birger Natwick, who was the managing director of an insulation company in Norway, believed that the insulation material made by his company could be used to complete this challenge easily. If Birger Natwick succeeds in completing this challenge, he will be able to collect a lot of money for his company Glasfoot and his employees. The whole world had spread that a person has accepted Radio Luxembourg's ice block challenge. To accomplish this task, Natwick formed a team and started working to complete the challenge. Because of this, the headlines of many newspapers started talking about Natwick. When Radio Luxembourg found out what had been tried so far to complete the ice block challenge, they were afraid of losing a lot of money. And out of fear, they took back their offer. Because Glasfoot and its director had become very famous, despite the end of Radio Luxembourg's offer, Natwick decided to complete this challenge. They believed that even if they did not get the money, they would complete this challenge, because it would increase their company's publicity. The time had come to start this challenge. It was decided that the ice block would be sent from the city of Mo i Rana in Norway to the city of Gabon in Africa, all the way to Libreville. The ice block would be brought from Denmark, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Spain and Morocco to Gabon via the Algerian Sahara. An engineer, 4 drivers, a truck mechanic and 2 cameramen were also included in Natwick's team. They decided to cut a 3-ton ice block from the glacier, but it was very difficult to lift such a large ice block at the same time, so the 200 kilograms blocks were cut and sent down by helicopter. Natwick and their hard work were also getting a lot of media attention. And for this reason, many companies started sponsoring them to complete this challenge. Shell took on the responsibility of fuel, and Eskinia gave them a truck in which this ice block was to be placed. The 200 kilograms blocks were brought down from the glacier and refreezed, and a single block of 3050 kilograms was made. This block was put in a special container and loaded into the truck, on the sides of which it was insulated with a special glass wool. After a good insulation, on the 22nd of February 1959, this unique journey finally began. The journey to the beginning was very easy because the weather in these areas was very pleasant and the roads were also in good condition. Because this news had spread all over the world, the people of the big cities where this truck and its crew passed welcomed them and chanted slogans to encourage them. As their journey progressed, their publicity was increasing. When this truck was passing through Paris, the police there gave them special protocols to pass through crowded areas. Even the mayor of Paris had invited the crew. A week had passed since this journey, and when the truck reached Mars, it was put on a ship with the help of a crane because now they had to cross a very large part of the sea. When it reached the other part of the sea, the conditions were completely different. The truck had now reached the land of Africa, where the heat was extremely severe during the day. Not only was there a risk of melting the ice block, but the truck's engine was also in danger of traveling on hot sand, and the fear of spoiling the crew's health was also increasing. In addition to all these dangers, the truck also had a security threat. Because the city from which those people were passing through, there was a war going on in that area and the people of freedom fighters were hiding in the mountains. Those people could also make the truck and its crew hostages to convince them. To deal with this danger, the French Foreign Legion gave security to the truck and its crew in some areas of the desert and gave them special instructions that they had to take the least number of stops to pass through this desert. But because there was no proper road in this desert, the truck was stuck in the sand again and again. The more they were in a hurry to reach their destination, the more difficulties they were facing. Every time the truck got stuck, it took the crew hours to get it out of the sand. This mission to transport the world's most expensive ice block had now come to their neck. On the one hand, there was a fear of freedom fighters, and on the other hand, the heat had ruined the crew's condition. And this heat started melting the ice block inside the truck. If the crew got stuck here, they would not be able to complete their mission and the ice taken from thousands of miles away would not be able to be saved. The animals of the passengers passing through the desert were also given melting ice water, which was actually the most expensive water in the world. They spent many nights laying sleeping bags on the sand and slowly moving towards their destination facing difficulties. Finally, they managed to leave this desert behind. And now their destination was very close. After a 28-day journey, the truck, crew and the remaining ice block managed to reach Libreville. Upon reaching Libreville, they were warmly welcomed. But everyone only had to know one thing, that after a 28-day journey in the most difficult conditions, how much ice was left in the last container. Surprisingly, when the container of the truck was opened, it was difficult to believe looking at the scenery inside. Yes, when leaving Norway, the ice block was 3050 kilograms, but after the most difficult journey of 28 days, the ice block was surprisingly 2714 kilograms. Only 11% of the ice, i.e. only 336 kilograms of ice, had melted on the way and the rest of the ice block was in one piece. No doubt Radio Luxembourg had withdrawn from its offer, but still this challenge was a complete success. And this ice was broken and distributed among the people of Gabon, who had never seen ice before. Natwick and their company were very happy. No cash reward at that time, but this publicity had put 4 moons on their company's sales. Glasswort still makes insulation material in the name of Glauber, and since 1959, their popularity has been increasing.